Okay, a bit of a voiceover here. Sam Kynman Cole had the drone out. Unfortunately, at this stage of the run, I was super tired and I was actually going to come down for a rest, but then I saw the drone. So I pushed through, but I've ended up foiling on very tired legs here. But yeah, hopefully we get a chance to see some of the bumps and I'll talk through what I'm doing. It's hard to see from this angle, but often what I'm doing is surfing swell energy. That's the basis of downwinding. But the key is trying to find where the swell energy is going to be next. If you try to hunt something down visually, you are probably going to be too late by the time you get to it. So let's try and figure out what I'm looking for here. I'm on the new KT Dragonfly 2 board here. One of my first runs on that board. I'm running across the swell. It would be like I'm surfing it down the line here at this point. It's quite an obvious swell there that I'm on, so that's always good. And you can see that in person too. Pumping a bit to keep my momentum high. Riding downhill there. I'm on a high point of a swell and I have downhill in front of me, so I can run downhill into it. This is a swell here that I'm riding down the line like a wave. Hooking back to continue back the way I had come from in that same swell. Okay, so we can get into what I'm chasing now that we can see from behind. Visually, I'm looking for lumps of energy. So a lump is a swell, and it's a lump because it's raising out of the water. So if I can see a high point, let's see what we've got here. I can kind of see a dark trough and high point in front of me, and I want to ride behind that. So I look for a high point. That high point is followed by a trough, which is often shadowy and a little bit darker, and you can just see it's lower than the high point in front. And then you just hang out behind that trough. So a trough is the low point behind the high point. And if you can follow that, but never actually get to the bottom of the trough, you're constantly going to be in good raised water. My destination here is to the right, so I have to err on exiting these waves and bumps and swells to the right. So I'm on quite a high point of water there, but it's already passed under me, so I can kind of turn behind it a touch. I hesitate to say chase it, because I don't mean pump to it to get on the front of it, but you can chase it from behind. And that's typically what I think most people do is... So there, I've got a lump in front of me. This back of the lump curves down into a trough. And then that trough is a low point. And if I've got a low point in front of me, it means I'm on a higher point than that low point. So I aim for that low point, but never actually want to hit it. So I'm chasing low points in the ocean, holes in the ocean, but my goal is to not get to it. So if I'm actually going to end up in that trough, I will often turn away and do a figure of 8 to stop myself from actually going into the low point. But if I stay on the windward side of that low point, I'm on constantly raising water. And that truly is what surfing and downwinding is it's a gravity game. So you want to be falling the whole time. And to fall, you need low points in front of you, and you want to be on high points. But of course, if you just go from a high point to a low point, that's game over, because you're at the low point. So you have to try and elongate the high point that you're on. Now that, probably sounds quite complex, and it kind of is, as it's a moving game. But the goal is, don't go uphill, always go downhill, and try find terrain in the ocean that lends itself to being downhill. And how that works is here on a wave. The wave's moving forward and so am I. So I can stay on raised water because we're both going to the same destination. And that swell is lifting me and allowing me to continue to drop. So there I've come off shallow water. Try not drive my foil into the ground these days. And there's my homies. I've got Dylan on the left, Sam Kynman Cole on the right. He filmed because he had COVID. And Alison and Michelle in the middle, giving us a wave. There's my van in the background. All right, guys, be good. See ya.